I think we've got some more questions on the phones here on MotorMouths. Let's talk to James. James, you're on with Corey LaJoie. What do you have for Corey today?
Hey, Corey. How you doing? I wanted to ask, after your 14th place finish at Daytona, as well as your 5th place on the newly configured Atlanta Motor Speedway, what have you learned from those two tracks that will help you going into Talladega this Sunday?
That's a great question. I think how the flow of the race towards the end of the race plays out. I think, like I mentioned earlier in the show, track position means more now with this car because you don't get those big, huge runs like we used to see with the previous car. Tandem might come to effect at Talladega a little bit more than we saw at Daytona because the track's smoother, it's a little bit wider. So I do think that if you think that you're going to have a shot to win running 18th with 3 to go, you're probably mistaken because you got to be in the top 3 or 4 rows and pick the right dancing partner at the end to really make a run. And you also got to factor in a little bit of luck. I mean, we've seen guys get wrecked at the end. You've seen guys making last lap passes. So you want to work yourself. My private number, but I'll tell all the listeners here, my number was 8 to go when you really pull them tight and jam it in there. But I think that number has to creep to 12, 15 laps of 15 laps to get yourself positioned if you want a chance to win the race.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So one thing that I mentioned the other day that I felt like that at Daytona, we didn't see a lot of 3-wide racing there. It was almost like back to the 90s when if you got stuck in the middle, you were headed backwards. Nobody was going to help you there. You think we'll see more of that at Talladega? I believe we will, but you're the driver.
Yeah, so I think what a factor at Daytona was that was the first race, essentially, of the next-gen car. So now the teams have figured out what makes the cars handle better, what aero pitch the cars need to be at, because it's definitely a lot different than what we anticipated. You used to try to get the car as low as possible, right? Get the back down, get the blade out of the air. It doesn't seem like that's the case. You see some of these cars look like Shamu going down the road, and it seems like the more the nose is high, the more downforce it makes and the less drag it makes. It looks weird, but you got to give the car what it wants. So I anticipate cars driving better, which will keep the cars packed up a little bit more.
All right, and we'll keep your secret safe. 15 to go. We won't tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody.
Nobody's watching the show.
Yeah.
Just kidding.